Up next, the Newcastle Jets kick off their A-League season with a win. Plus, the country championships of touch football starting a good start for Northern New South Wales teams with victories. Plus, we take a look back at the year 1999. That's up next here on NBN's local sports news. Good evening, my name is Conklin McLeod with NBN's local sports news. Tonight, the Newcastle Jets opened their season with a win over Perth Glory at McDonald Jones Stadium. Plus, Wallsend secure a victory over Wagga right into the country championships of touch football.
Both of us there in support of beautiful ball from right to left. The Wolves are howling about that one. It's a great try to open things here on day two.
And we take a look back at the local sporting highlights from 1999. But first tonight, the Newcastle Jets have opened their A-League season in round 2 with a victory over Perth Glory. It was fantastic for the Newcastle Jets, who managed to score. It was all thanks to one of the best goals from Beka Mikoltowski in the 93rd minute. There was a lot of trouble and drama going on for the Jets first. And of course, good news came for the Jets. They scored their first goal of the season. And of course, despite being down with 10 men, the Jets had to produce their second goal. It was, of course, thanks to Beka Mikoltowski. And of course, the full-time siren sounded and the Jets won the match 2-1. The Jets' next home game is up against Wellington Phoenix this weekend. Meanwhile, in the other games, Sydney FC had a win over Western United, while Macarthur FC defeated Adelaide United. Meantime, the Central Coast Mariners had a 2-2 draw against the Wellington Phoenix, and the Western Sydney Wanderers had a win over Melbourne Victory, and Melbourne City had a victory over Brisbane Roar. To touch football, and of course teams from Newcastle, the Hunter, Lake Macquarie, the Central Coast and Port Macquarie managed to secure victories against their other teams. But first, let's start off with the match between Wallsend and Wagga Wagga.
From a bit of a difficult position there, but you'd just like to see a bit of a smoother
It was massive. And of course, Wallsend managed to open the game with their first try. And of course, they managed to score. And of course, Wallsend managed to score try number 1.
Last play now, Botham is there in support. A beautiful ball from right to left. And the Wallsend Wolves are howling about that one. It's a great try to open things here on day 2.
Yeah, it's a nice little set piece there, a little passive play out the back. And
Before Wagga threatened to strike back with a 1-1 draw.
Pack might have had a little stray foot in there, but he's been given the benefit of the doubt. So the Vipers can work it away now. Through it comes here to Schultz, who heads towards the interchange area. The subset, not a bad one either. The transition is pretty smooth. And that flow continues here for the Vipers. Off the left foot they step. Good pick up out of acting half. Plenty of speed on display as well. Hayes is into the backfield, looking to link up. Finds a supporting runner, and they go in, and we have a level ball game. 1 try apiece. Beautiful run, though, from Harry Hayes.
Yep, and a really good finish from Ethan Simple. Simple, who's a very, very good young player as well. Like this Viper side, they've sort of made a couple of adjustments there.
Then good news came for Wallsend as they managed to score their second try
Either team need to get the ascendancy
and managed to secure a 2-1 lead.
And they need to then be able to, try and force an error one way or the other because we're at a bit of a stalemate and, this is a very tight contest. So really important to knuckle down over these next few minutes and try and, get some ascendancy in the contest.
Yeah, still locked at 1 try apiece, but a strike dump here for Botham. Botham links up a beautiful pass provided for Scutthorpe, and we don't have that deadlock anymore. 2 tries to 1. Wallsend back in front.
Yeah, fantastic piece of play from Will Botham, showing his class. Also played men's open NTL this year, and when you see the guy keep going,
then it was time for back-to-back tries for Wallsend.
Error there for the Vipers as
Wallsend managed to lead 3-1.
Position here and give themselves a chance to go further ahead.
So Wallsend with Botham here, straightening things up. The touch comes in right on that 7-metre mark. Now the full complement back out there as well for the Wolves. Graham joins the action. Doesn't arrive his way though. Botham from a long distance got down very quickly. The slide dive was super, and it means a 3rd try for the Wallsend Wolves and a 2nd for Will Botham.
Yeah, and again, quality effort from Will. He's one of the best in his
before Wagga threatened to have a fight back again.
He's this team very, very well around the park.
So 3 tries to 1 for the Wallsend Wolves with about 14 minutes remaining here. Really good fixture so far. Both sides have thrown just about everything, including the kitchen sink at one another. Pack in at acting half as Hinch is an option. So too Connolly. Oh, Pack won't need any of them at the moment. He now needs to find somebody in support. Does exactly that. And it just opened up like Moses parting the Red Sea, and Sam Pack took complete advantage of it. Yeah, 3 tries to 2.
Yeah, he's a quality player, Sam Pack. He took on the defence, took advantage of a bit of a slip there, didn't panic, shopped around in the end goal.
Then another one for Wallsend.
Not a great deal of urgency so far about
quickly extended the Wolves' lead.
They dropped out of the touch, and very good refereeing. there. He was playing the advantage. They pulled out of the touch as it was about to be made, and you have to keep advancing and get it out, past that 7 metres. So, yeah, well done. And this is danger signs now with Botham looming in there. Probably a little quickie play.
Nice bit of gamesmanship there from Colin as Botham takes off himself.
Yep.
And they don't get him. That means it's a hat-trick for Will. He's all over this one.
Yeah, definitely. He needs no invitation on the 7 metre line to get that quickie play, and he didn't even have to dive. That shows the speed of this kid. That's quite frightening when he gets going, even from short range.
Then try number 5 came from War's End, as it all became incredible.
Penalties come when you've gone really close to scoring a try at the other end of the field, and then it takes real composure to sort of knuckle down and just stick with your game plan, keep working, and eventually you get what you want. And it's just really, really hard to keep your composure sometimes, but here we are.
Oh, beautiful short ball, Caruso, right up through the guts.
As War's End now led 5-2.
They barged it down with a giant pole, and there we go, 5 tries to 2. Well, that is a massive moment here for the Walsend Wolves. There's about 7 minutes remaining, and that could be crucial in the grand scheme of things.
Then one more try scored by the Walsend Wolves, making it 6 points to 2.
Touch it once more and head up towards that halfway line. In fact, straight to the interchange area to get the fresh players onto the field. To do so within play one, obviously, is a big achievement.
Yeah, they're very structured, and they're just rolling through, their game plan really, really nicely. And that's the difference when you see, 20s teams be able to play this sort of nice structure, and there's the passive out the back, and fantastic. That is a textbook set of 6 from the Walsend Wolves, and, you won't see anything better than that in this age division. That is fantastic end-to-end footy from the Walsend Wolves.
We talk about coach killers, but that certainly was a coach pleaser for you as Ashton Daly dives in for the 6th try of the match. There's not a great deal of time remaining about on the RTV
even though Wagga had one more, but not good enough, as War's End secured one of the best victories of all time, 6 points to 3.
Again, great coaching from Dylan Thompson. Like, he's worked really hard with these boys. I remember he's had them for the last few years, and when they started out, they were they weren't one of the better sides in the region. But he's worked them to the point where they're doing everything right. And what a great piece of play there from the Vipers. That's going to be a touchdown. There's a little slip from the defensive player, and they took full advantage. Again, shopping around until they found a free man. And if there's any area of concern for the Wolves, it would just be, them post.
With fresh plays.
It was Newcastle City versus War's End.
Colwell touched just inside that 7 metre mark.
And because of that, Newcastle City scored first.
Very, very quickly. Not quickly enough, though. The referee's on the spot. They said the touch was affected. Still early in the count. They come towards the middle here with Colwell. That's one of the more interesting little dance moves I've seen on a touch footy field. Oh, the big tummy comes. It's opened up like Sydney heads. And steaming through a gap is Jeremy Burgess. And the first try of the match comes the way of the Newcastle Knights.
Yeah, it's a really, really nice touchdown. Nathan White going to the line there. And they disallowed it, but it was a nice piece of play from Nathan White going to the line, getting through and linking up. But, nice. They're throwing a lot of sleep.
After it was disallowed, Newcastle City quickly tried again.
They've just given him another set of 6. So,
and of course, it was time for another attempt at scoring.
Here, James.
So the Knights still with an opportunity, slowing things down through the middle. Surprised that wasn't actually called as a penalty. There was no further encroachment on that attacking line. Now, have they evaded the touch in time? I think they have indeed. So a second try here for the Newcastle Knights. And it was hit at pace. A great little run there from Chad Jackson.
Yeah, nice little quickie play. And then, they noticed that the Walsend Wolves were quite compressed because they'd been running some quickies and sweepers. They were very tight. So they just threw the ball to the link, who hit a beautiful hole. And, if the Knights
2-0 is what all became for Newcastle City.
Being nice and controlled and rolling through their sets, and they get out to another touchdown, it could be, a very difficult little period here for the Walsend Wolves. And this fly, they're shaping again. They need to release on that, but haven't recognised it yet. But that's okay. They slowed it down, and this could be the reprieve that the Walsend Wolves need just to steady the ship here and not allow them to
They've
score
worked
again.
something
But
out
they
of nothing,
can't.
though, here. The Knights, the little in and away, and then a beautiful pop pass. Well, I think they've gotten away with one there, though, because all the Wallsend players were pointing at the pass from Burgess out of acting half, saying that must have been forward. But you've got to play to the whistle. The Knights took full advantage of it. They go in for their third.
Yeah, they do, and you know, that was exactly the scenario you want.
And finally,
This game,
as the
you know,
Newcastle
even though they
City
have to keep
Knights
turning up for
ran
each
with the
other,
ball,
and these boys are
it
doing
was
everything they
quickly
possibly can
up to their
stay in
players
contest,
to
and that's
make
the
it
penalty.
3-0.
Those ones, you know, are going to get you eventually. That was just a
Then
tied
Newcastle were given a
game, so
penalty.
it might have been a good thing for the Wolves to slow things down a little bit to try and give themselves a chance. But these guys are fairly dynamic on the 7 as well, so we'll see what results
Afterwards,
here.
it was time for a 1-point try.
In the play the ball, very messy one, and they haven't taken long to take full advantage of it. Lovely little ball pop back on the inside there, and Ewer goes in for another try here for the Knights. It's really getting concerning now for the Wolves.
Yeah, the Knights are playing a really, really good structured brand of footy. They're good on their repeat sets. They're very, very composed.
But finally, after a few minutes, Wallsend scored.
Out in the grandstand waving them up in the crowd. So they need to get over a little bit closer and sort of help each other out on the static plays, because when it's a drive over possibility, you need to be a little bit tighter there, James.
Kelly Banks, I need to remind you.
Because of that, Wallsend made it 3-1.
The crowds, they're doing a great job, and I want to know exactly what they're having for breakfast, what they're doing for their morning routine in general, because I want that kind of longevity. Off the right foot they come now. Wallsend, they've opened up a big gap, and they do go in. It's Camborne who finds a passage through, and the Wallsend Wolves are on the board.
Yeah, that's a fantastic hit back and well needed by the Wallsend Wolves, just to stay in touch in this contest and not let it get, you know, blown out. That's a really, really good.
Then, good news for Newcastle City, as the Knights quickly went on to score their fourth try.
For the Wallsend Wolves, about 13 minutes remaining. Margin isn't death sentence, so to speak. There is still
as the Knights ran past them
here. They've certainly shown their hand a few times
and managed to score try number 4 to make it 4-1.
If fatigue begins to set in, will that continue? Oh, great little ball at the death, flung underneath. Player who came jamming out of the line. In fact, they're going to say that's all good as well. So they've managed to get there.
That was a beautiful little one-handed release. Went to the line and just, you know, found his link man hitting a beautiful hole. And this is again really, really nice play from the Knights.
Then Wallsend fought back to make it 4-2.
And he'll be instrumental here in this next little set of 6, and I'd expect the play to revolve around him. You know, if there any chance here of scoring in this set.
Good to see Stevens back out there. We thought he might have been suffering from some sort of wrist or finger injury a few minutes back. He's back on deck. Tomlin takes advantage of a few plays that slip over. They kept this one alive here. Wallsend, beautiful pass against the grain, straight into the hands of the waiting winger. It's the second one here for the Wallsend Wolves. They might not be done with just yet.
Yeah, fantastic piece of play from Tomlin. As I said, he'd be instrumental in them creating something, and then a lovely catch and pass from Richard Chippendale.
But thankfully, Newcastle City were not done yet.
Let's see if the Knights can take
they scored their 5th try, right up against Wallsend.
Big dummy comes in, however, not fallen for.
Oh, and that's a nice little play, a little A. It's an old school play, a little dummy switch between the middle and the Lincoln. I love seeing it because a lot of this stuff, as we've said, watching the seniors play, they bring back a lot of plays that were very, very popular in the day, and that's a lovely little short side raid from the Knights, and they finish it off in style.
Well, they just sat on the heels there, the Wolves defenders. They didn't push up off the line, and that is exactly why.
Just to make it 5-2.
With your defensive line and get out up to that 7-metre mark. Often teams try and sit there and I guess try and bowling ball.
Then Wallsend secured revenge as they managed to score a try to make it 5-3.
Well, you never know. It could be like the Pappenhausen thing, and it might start an avalanche of these hairstyles in the touch footy world.
Well, I mean, one thing we did see with COVID occurring was obviously all the mullets came back into fashion, led by Ryan Pappenhausen. So this could be one here. I think you're right, Carly Banks, Jeremy Burgess with something pretty special. That is also pretty special, though, from Camborne, who dives in.
Yeah, fantastic little quickie play And he's read that extremely well and got himself into a great position. And he
Despite
read
that,
that
and of
extremely
course,
well
Newcastle
and
City
got
managed
himself
to
into a great
score a
position.
try of their own
He wanted
to
one at
make
the other
it
end of the field and he drew
6-3.
up when the referees didn't give him the 7 metres, but he got that one there. So that's a little bit of justice from Campbell. And so fantastic hit back again from the Wolves to stay in touch at 6 touchdowns to 3.
Because of that,
It's a little bit of a
Newcastle
margin here
managed to
still.
run.
They might be able to just conjure something up here, the Wolves. You fancy they need to be next to score, though. 7-3 might be a bit too much for them to come back from. Haynes does a good job here to play at the ball. He had to as well. They'd worked an overlap on that far side of the field.
Yeah, there's a little short side play, and the
As
middle
Newcastle scored their 6th try.
make that touch, but good.
It's a little bit of a margin here still.
Good skills kept on
Might be
coming.
able to just conjure something up here, the Wolves. You fancy they need to be next to score, though. 7-3
Despite
might
it
be a
being
bit too much
disallowed,
for them
and
to
of
come back
course,
from. Haynes does a good job here to play at the ball. He had to as well. They'd worked an overlap on that far side of the field.
Newcastle scored. And of course, the Knights continued on the try scoring fest, but also they managed to make it 7-0. And of course, the Knights managed to make it 7-3.
They keep promoting the footy with quick hands. That's a beautiful piece of play from the Knights. Brent Donaldson goes in again here for Newcastle.
Yeah, we have seen the players' footing be a little area of concern during this event, and
Get a great one though, and
Before scoring their last try to win the match, to quickly before Newcastle quickly secured one of the best victorious tries of all time.
Not going to cost them too much as
With the Knights securing an 8-3 lead
this flow that they're creating
to score their 8th try.
And it's proving really, really hard for the Wolves to combat.
Jackson out of acting half. He's opened them up again. He's had a massive match here, Chad Jackson, and he sets up another try here for Brett Ewer. And both Ewer and also the likes of Burgess and Donaldson, they've all been capitalising on some wonderful work out of the middles, especially Chad Jackson.
Yeah, you're exactly right. The Knights are playing a really good team game, creating great flow.
Even though it wasn't enough, Warzan managed to score their 4th try.
The result here for them, but can the Wolves at least
And thankfully, Newcastle City managed to win 8 points to 4. Right on at full time.
Jackson, who's been huge with ball in hand, also doing a good job in this set in defence. Camborne again playing it. They haven't asked too many questions as of yet for this set. Quick hands though. Ahmed kept the width nicely, took a great catch as well, and got it to ground very quickly. It's all backwards. It's actually quite a beautiful try there from the Wolves.
It's a fantastic piece of play from the Wolves going through the hands and, finding the space on the fringes and throwing in. I thought from both these teams there's probably some space out there because it's been quite middle, James.
The first one probably a little bit lateral.
Newcastle City's women were just spectacular, leaving their Dawson opponents scoreless.
You've got to go forward. You can't go sideways straight away, or teams just...
And of course, Newcastle scored their first try.
By the Dawson Dragons.
The Knights get up over halfway and the ball
As the Newcastle City Knights managed to quickly leave the Dawson Dragons scoreless. As Newcastle led 1-0.
Sneaky little play. You saw Jeffs come on for the latch play, but she actually ditched off. The rest of the defence out wide retreated, and they just got in behind the first line of defence. And nice show of speed there by Cheney.
I'll take the lead, and Dawson just there going the first couple of...
Then Newcastle scored in the 5th minute, which of course led to Newcastle City securing their 2nd try.
Potts and Brother Blake playing the Newcastle men's open side, and as I mentioned before, State of Origin reps the last couple of tournaments, and she's leading the way here, and she gets the ball back, Potts, and she dummies, the slip, and they're over the Knights. Amy Dufour, just a little bit too simple, and we saw that yesterday a little bit in that end of the field, Dave, the dew and beautiful conditions here, but must be still a little bit of dew at the northern end.
Yeah, I've been talking to a couple of coaches actually, and they said both stadium and field one is a little bit slippery underfoot, even if it's not dewy.
Dick's touch. A little bit of confusion.
Yeah, 6
Then
touch, I think, Nathan.
Newcastle City secured one of the
Direct play
best
to you. You
ones.
just see the
They
Newcastle
scored
City
try
just
number 3
punch the
to
ball
make
up
it
the middle.
3-0.
I like this play where they look to dish off on the latch. They don't actually go down on the latch. They dish off, which saves them, makes them a bit extra ground, but also gets the Dawson defence retreating. Spain playing through the middle.
Some beautiful hands out, and Natty McManus scores in the corner and they extend their lead. That was seriously sharp play from the Knights.
That was a very good set from touch one all the way through to that try. That was really well orchestrated by the Newcastle City touch as well, which didn't
Then
get the link
it was
punish
time
play.
for another try, scored by Newcastle City, as they scored
Good
their
drive
4th
set here
try
by the Knights.
to
As we
lead
can see again, they
4-0.
just dish off on the latch. They got him on the outside. This is Hindmarsh. Hindmarsh playing through the middle. Here's Dufour. Hindmarsh off to Dufour and through. And it's a nice try in the corner there.
And
By
Cheney.
Cheney again.
As the Knights extend their lead here. The Bar TV crew, fantastic job.
Now,
Every tournament
Newcastle
for
had to score try number 5,
us. As the Knights,
making
when
it
you got the clock sitting
5-0.
up near halfway, and there's Dufour, and she spreads it wide, and the step they go for that box, and here comes that latch play, and Cheney giving a bit of a extra work there to the sideline, and there's Steer, and she's going in the right direction. There's Jeffs. Jeffs gives it out. Look at the running. Look at the speed. Oh, that was as clinical as you'll see.
Yeah, I believe it was a simple fly play. Just got him with the numbers, but comes back to the dish off on the latch play. Dawson's only sending the link up, and they're just getting in behind him. And once they're in behind that front line of defence,
All it took was Olivia Steer and Samantha Atkins on that play, just go nice and direct. Steve's introduced the latch
Then
drive
it
pattern.
was
And
time for try number
from
6
that,
for
I don't want to take
Newcastle
away any
City,
credit from any
as the
coaches
Knights
that
scored
claim
their
that they
6th try.
may have come up with it, but Dawson, in probably the experts first up, I dare say. And
yeah, they definitely brought it back into play, and that's their go-to. That's their structure. They kicked it off, and a lot of 99% of other teams have followed now, and that seems to be the play.
oh, stood her up like a first date. Lucy Spain stopped. Koenig planted the feet. And a little in and away, and it was very, very simple. But if you get a chance to look at that back, just watch. Spain straightened, Koenig planted the heels, and a little kick away left her for dead.
Yeah, just squared her up a little bit, and once you caught on the back,
Then try number 7
charge
came
up the
for
field,
Newcastle
and
City,
Potts loses a footing,
and
and
because of
ball's
that,
passed out, and
they led
Steele
7-0.
take him in the right direction. And they'll get up, and here they come again, the Knights, and there it is. Here come the numbers, you'll see it. There we go, take your pick. Who are they going to hit? There's the ball out to Jeff's quick hands. They give it away. Long pass out to that wing, and there's McManus, and she's cruising over. And we've said it time and time again, the execution from Newcastle on this driving set and pattern has been absolutely magnificent.
yeah, once again, same player. It's like a repeated record there, Nathan, and really nice try in the corner. I'm just looking across at the Doyle box, and
Minutes,
Then
Koenig, and that was
try number
the
8
score's
came from
obviously
Newcastle
getting away a
City,
little bit, but that's some
as
serious
they managed to
commitment and effort,
lead
big
8-0.
dive. She's quite tall and was able to get Dufour, and here's Potts and Dufour, and they're going at it again. Potts picks the ball up, she steps back, Koenig's there, long pass out, and the ball stepped in, and they get the ball away. Oh, she stood her up, step, dipsy doodle, and she's over.
I think it's a try.
You could tell from the defender there, head hit the ground after the intercept, and some serious footwork from Amber Cheney. And they extend their lead, the Knights.
Yeah, it was really good defence there early by the Dawson Dragons, but just the footwork by Cheney.
Then try number 9 for Newcastle City, as they managed to lead 9-0.
Almost touch the cloud, so it's great viewing up here. And Dufour take it forward for the Knights. They're going to look to push forward with one more. 8-0 with just under 5 on the clock, and Dufour picks it up, and there's Stewart in there, and she throws it inside Paul, and Dufour's got another one. It's just the fatigue there. The chase out's not there, but the little pop pass on the inside. Cheney's having an absolute blinder, and there's not too many from Newcastle that aren't, to be honest.
No, they're playing well as a team, and yeah, just the inside, I'd say the lactic acid is burning in the legs, and they just couldn't compete on them down hard. I
Then,
think that could be the play
time for try number 10.
the Doyleson
And
Dragons.
of
It may be a
course,
bit late, but it'll be good to see them have
as
another crack at
Newcastle
that.
City managed
So
to
the sweep
make
on
it
here
10
through
0.
Hindmarsh. He gets up over the 10, and the ball's off the ground with Potts. Potts switches it up for Jeff. Jeff goes down for Potts, and Potts picks it up. Gives it away. Oh, stands her up, Jeff. Long pass out, and they're over again, the Knights. McManus grabs another. As we mentioned before, Rachel Jeffs, you'll see it on the replay. If you get a chance to have a look at it, Jeffs just stops and then kicked off again. And the defender, flat-footed, caused the space. And the long pass out to McManus, who grabs another one. And clinical play again from the Knights.
Just the stutter. We couldn't call it a step.
Then in the
They don't have
final
much
few
subs at the
minutes,
moment, but yeah, it's been a really good effort here.
there was one more
on the
try
wing on this
for the
side by
Knights,
Severino.
And here they come, and
as the Knights led to 11 0, and it was enough to quickly secure it on full time.
in the Everest.
Yeah, that was a bit of a fail, that one, but we won't go there.
As the Knights,
Picks it up this
as
space,
the Newcastle City Knights defeated the Dawson Dragons 11 0.
Over in the corner.
Just a hello to our Sydney counterparts that are watching the Country Champs. Hopefully not too many notes taken for State Cup, but this is the joys of our live stream, that people can review the games that are on.
The Dawson Dragons managed to take on the Wollongong Devils into the country championships of touch football and eventually won the game.
Already on the attack, nice and early. That ball has floated forward. That wasn't forward out of the hands. That means all is good and well. And Dawson, off their first raid on the opposition line, come away with a try here. 1-0. Changeover set to come here.
Dawson managed to score their second try. Because of it, they managed to extend their lead 2-0.
4 minutes gone in this fixture. Men's Open Division, fast pace. Langbridge hops into acting half. Quick little ball was popped. Once more, Daniel Langbridge operating through that central passage. Strong work out of acting half from Langbridge. The cutout ball, beautiful width about the play as well. Hug the sideline, and they go in for their second try. They put it down to Daniel Langbridge. 2 or 3 plays straight, hopping in out of acting half, causing the defensive line to retreat. Hutchison again.
Thankfully, Dawson managed to continue extending their lead 3-0.
Langbridge offers it away. Now Johnson, short ball. Once more Langbridge working hard through the middle. Up over halfway. The transition is beautiful as well from Doyleson. The flow continues. Little's out there now. He's with ball in hand. Last play. They've gone pretty much the length of the field. Little holds it for an eternity. Finds the run of Johnson. Oh, it's a wonderful set here from the Doyleson Dragons.
Dawson scored their third try to make it 3-0.
And they get full reward from it. 3 tries to 0. It's looking ominous here at Tuggerah. Steal it off here.
Then the good start continued for Dawson as they managed to score their 4th try
Shifts it on, and now Hawkins
to quickly secure the lead 4-0.
Quick play the ball himself. The flow is just incredible here from the Doyleson Dragons.
They all but had to break Wollongong's hearts.
Contact as Thompson puts the foot down and sets it up beautifully. It's an absolute clinical piece of play there from both Thompson and then Will Eagleton in support. The Hunter West Hornets connection in full effect. 4 tries to 0. Just about keeping pace. Nothing to get some fresh
Before
plays on.
Wollongong scored their only try in the match.
Came in time. They will get another set to play with here, though. The Wollongong Devils. They touch it on that 7-metre mark. Bamford drops it off. Big dummy comes out there from Fiend. Back to Fiend now to Bamford. It's good aggressive defence, though, from Doyleson stepping up off the line. A little slippage there, and he's having a look at the mud on the ground. But ultimately, the result is the same. Brody Fiend has split them 4 tries to 1. The Devils are on the board.
Then try number
Restart
5
things here.
came for Dawson,
Langridge
as the Dawson Dragons
receives it
managed
back
to
out of empty
lead
half.
5-1.
Touch comes in. Thompson at pace provides a lovely cutout pass. Beautifully read, though, from Corey Bamford in defence. In fact, not Bamford. We don't have the 22 on our team sheet. We'll try and fix that as the match unfolds. Last play now, though, for Doyleson. Popping the ball over to Johnson. The quick tip on. Lovely play once more. The Doyleson Dragons. Well, they are breathing fire here. Johnson has spent a lot of time dominating in that link position on day one. And his
4 was try number 6
long
to
ball
Dawson,
comes, not finding it anywhere near the hands of Cohen
as
Deegan.
they managed to quickly secure their
Oliver was
6th
waiting
try
nonetheless.
to make it 6-1.
The touch comes in here from Lambert. Easy meters on offer once more here for Doyleson. It's like a perpetual motion machine here. Little drops it off. Little again, running it offside defenders, popping a ball to Johnson. Johnson, quick hands. It's absolute clockwork. It's beautiful. The Doyleson Dragons are in again, 6 tries to 1.
Then Dawson had to extend their lead again,
Drives forward 10 metres shy of the halfway line.
scoring their
Langridge back out
7th
there.
try to make it
half
7-1.
Straightening up once more. Langridge, such a tireless middle. Always putting in the work. They're still live on this particular play. Wilton, back to Langridge, who dummies to Wilton. Now drops it off. Strike dump inside the 7-metre mark. Oh, the long dive as well from Wilton, who got underneath them. Somebody pull out the limbo stick. That's brilliant stuff from Mitch Wilton. It's the 7th try for the Doyleson Dragons. They are running hot at Tuggerah. Now, though, what can they
They were
conjure up?
unstoppable,
Not
and
much on this occasion.
of course Dawson is what became.
Toward the
And
middle.
of course Dawson had to score their
Dawson
8th
were
try to make it
in
8-1 up in Tuggerah.
So 13 and a half to go in this one. 7 tries to 1. Taken some time to warm into this contest here, the Devils, but they're now going tit for tat as Thompson promotes the ball. Langbridge, a beautiful floating cutout pass right to left and right on the money. 8 tries to 1, the Doyleson Dragons. Just when you thought maybe the Devils had stopped things, they launch another raid. They come away with a reward once more.
Then Dawson scored try number 9 to make it 9-1.
Thompson slowing things down. Fiend steps up to meet him. Eventually they make the touch. Thompson turns it back towards the open side. Slow release. Eagleton. Thompson wraps around. Quick hands on offer. Beautiful ball over the top once more. Dafter is collecting them by the handful. He goes in again. 9 tries to 1. It's a thorough thrashing here at the Central Coast.
Of course Dawson scored one. Of course Dawson scored their 10th try to make it 10-1.
It's just so hard to breach this Doyleson defensive line. Such a well-drilled unit. From the excellent coaching of none other than Carly Banks. Of course, also doubling up as the Australian 18 boys coach. Last play here for Thompson, who goes out the back to Johnson. Johnson, quick hands. Oh, it's beautiful once more. Jesse Jenkins goes in, and he makes it. Double digits, 10 tries to 1 over the Wollongong Devils. Dragons are flying high at Tuggerah. Alex,
Then came try number 11, as Dawson scored to make it 11-1.
Here is brother Daniel taking the touch. And then marching forward. Langbridge. Back here to Wilson. Now Thompson. So many gun players on the one side. Oh, quick roll ball here from Langbridge, and Thompson picked it up, rifled it across field. You don't see it a great deal. He played the ball inside the 7 metre mark, but when it's on, it is most certainly on. Langbridge caught them a little bit by surprise there by playing it as he did. Thompson, however, was aware to it to provide a team.
Van Dawson showed Wollongong how it was done, as Dawson won the match 12 points to 1 to score their 12th try.
Little drops it off. Little at the 7 metre mark. Decides better against doing a Daniel Langbridge style play and retreats just a little bit. Rodimer drops it off. Here is again Jared Rodimer, quick hands. Oh, they hold it in 2 hands here as well from Wilton. In fact, Clune it is who splits them. And Sam Clune makes it a dirty dozen. 12 tries to 1. Put it down to the pass there from Rodimer. So quick in the release. Gave plenty of options there for Clune in the length.
The men's 50s started off with a spectacular bang of touch football, as the Newcastle City Knights, of course, defeated the Wollongong Devils. And of course, Newcastle scored the first try to quickly lead 1-0. Then Newcastle scored their second try, just to make it 2-0. With Newcastle City scoring after that. Then suddenly the Wollongong Devils scored. It was only by 1. But it was not good for the Devils. They had a player carried off due to injury. But it was all Newcastle City, as the Knights managed to quickly score try number 3 to make it 3-1. Then try number 4 from Newcastle City, as the Knights managed to quickly secure their 4th try to make it 4-1. And of course, because of that, they had to try again. And of course, that's what they certainly did. 4-1. Then the last one came as Newcastle City won the match 5-1. To score as Newcastle City managed to score their 5th try.
The names that are coming to mind, of course,
Up in the women's division,
well, who now has the ball.
Newcastle City scored the first try.
Spain. Hindmarsh.
1-0.
Now comes Potts. Potts back to Defour. Defour, great evasiveness.
Taylor quickly stayed after the first try.
Now Potts. Center of the field and slowing things down. Gets the strike dump. Here comes Defour. Defour with oodles of space. Took full advantage of it. And the first try of the semi-final comes the way of the Newcastle Knights, a hotly favoured side. They start well here. 1-0 after about 2 minutes of play. Newcastle leading.
Then good news for Newcastle City. It was up in the women's semi-final.
Now they link up with McManus.
They managed to score try number 2 to lead 2-0.
Cast your mind back to James McManus, of course, the Knights in the league. Cheney delivers here for Stewart. Stewart picks up some good meters. A backpedaling defensive line. Cheney cuts them all the way through towards the try line and finding the support of Matty McManus. And M&M goes in. 2-0 Newcastle. Looking good early on. And for that matter, looking to book a place in the grand final.
Tries kept on coming on for Newcastle City's women in the semi-final,
shutting down any opportunity
as they managed to score 3-0.
Pass that was very marginal. Will to be play on. As they come towards the halfway line, Severino was trying to enact the false touch. And then a changeover for her side. Good pace about the players. Defour now straightens up. Defour back towards the middle. Good footwork here from Potts. Potts dives at the line. Potts has done a great job there. Defour and Potts had the defence on ice skates. And Potts with a beautiful dive at the end makes it 3-0. The Knights cruising early in this semi-final.
Then Dawson struck the attack.
So the warning was this Newcastle side is red hot. They'll be tough to stop to claim the entire tournament. So far they are in a pretty good position to carry things on here
Dawson
and find themselves in the grand final spot. Great pace on display though from Doyleson. What about the turn of speed there? And then connecting out wide with Koenig. It's a try for Doyleson. 3-1. They aren't out of this one just yet. That's gone against the grain there.
Here come the Knights as Newcastle City secured their 4th try.
Put some more pressure on the
they managed to
scoreboard.
lead
Potts
4-1.
flicks it off here to Rachel Jeffs. Ball delivered now to Hindmarsh, who stutter steps off the right foot and is caught by Kessler. Jeffs drops it off on the 7-metre mark. At pace is Hindmarsh. Hindmarsh with a beautiful ball, a flat pass delivered right onto the chest of Matty McManus, who goes in for her 2nd try of the match. 4-1 in the semi-final. About a third of the way through this one.
Then Doyleson had their 2nd try scored.
So Doyleson will get to restart things here. Work it upfield, through the middle. Kelleher takes off. Great pace about her work here. Kelleher has burnt them on the outside. And all the way for a touchdown. 4 tries to 2. And a nice little turn back to the camera there to make sure that everybody knows Jocelyn Kelleher is the one that's just scorched the field here. Up for the
Before
task in this
Newcastle
semi-final.
City managed to score,
The Knights once more with possession.
as they managed to quickly secure a 5-2
Of course,
victory.
coming into this match,
As they managed to secure a 5-2 lead.
good touch in there from the Doylestown
It
Dragons.
was all
They
thanks to a
prevent
try.
any further encroachment on that line. Atkins ruled back to that 7-metre mark. Spain to Stewart. Stewart drops it off. Quick hands here. Oh, wonderful play.
Even though
from
this
Lucy
one was
Spain,
overruled,
who
thankfully,
cuts them
this
open.
one was not.
Held it in 2 hands. It was just enough to put the defenders in 2 minds and on the back foot. And that means it is now 5 tries to 2. That will be the
Then,
changeover.
6 out of 6
Take a
tries
little look as well at the
was,
previous
of course,
fixture. From memory, it was
becoming
about
the
12-0 in
best
favour
for the
of Knights.
Newcastle
It was
City Knights,
comprehensive victory, 11-0 it was.
as they
So
managed
already
to
we're seeing
secure a
significant improvement
6-2 lead.
from this Doylestown side in the semi-final. 5 tries to 2. Newcastle lead. They're on the attack here once more. Quick hands. Beautiful stuff. Jeffs promotes the footy. There's space out wide. A lovely pass provided by Hindmarsh. That's a beautiful team try for the Newcastle Knights. 6 tries to 2 in the semi-final. The draw and pass was beautiful, rolling upfield throughout that set. Expansive, anything pretty?
Then, the Knights managed to
Simple
score
footy will claim
their
the result
7th try,
at this stage.
as they led 7-2.
Wilson might need to be a little bit more expansive. Hindmarsh with a great turn of speed. Now Potts hits the line hard. DeFore is there in support. DeFore with a cutout pass. Oh, it's lovely played. Matty McManus has a hat-trick. 7 tries to 2. That now makes it very difficult for Doylestown to launch some sort of a comeback here. The clock is now a real factor and scoreboard pressure is being applied. That little run
Soon,
there. An incorrect play the ball
soon
off the back of the
became
bow.
8-2 as the
Pushes
Knights
possession.
scored their 8th
DeFore.
try.
Potts. Up the guts they go. Potts once more now. Straightening things and stepping off the left foot a couple of times. Hindmarsh, who's got oodles of pace, crabbing across field. DeFore, now Potts, spots a gap, back to DeFore. DeFore with a long ball. I think that's gone forward. No, they said out of the hands backwards. And it is try time for Billy Taylor. 8 tries to 2. Newcastle Knights. Home and hose now. About 8.5 grade nowhere for Koenig to go,
And of
though.
course, the Knights' popularity
Defence
was
was
still
on
in
point.
success.
A show to the
They managed
sideline.
to score their 9th try
Much
to
unfortunately
make
for
it
Koenig.
9-2.
What you could possibly do with that situation as the touch comes in from McClellan. Mitchell, up over halfway they come. Hindmarsh with a good run. Good flow about this set so far for Newcastle. Last play now. Lovely little one-handed pickup. Hindmarsh, ball in 2 hands. The cutout pass arrives, and Kennedy goes in once more. It's her second of the match. 9 tries to 2. It really is getting away from the Dragons now. Fitzpatrick.
Then the Knights managed
Attacking
to
half.
quickly make it
Probably lucky to get away with
10-2.
the touch pass, and then straight away the touch footy gods enacting a little bit of karma.
As the
with a drop
Knights
ball.
scored their
So the Knights
10th
go on the attack
try.
once more. They're looking to breach double digits here. 9 tries to 2. Atkins plays it inside the 7 at speed. Beautiful stuff from Lucy Spain, and Spain is flying the flag high for all of Europe, for that matter. We know there's a World Cup in League on right now. Spain aren't featuring, but Lucy Spain doing a great job right here in the semi-final to make it 10 tries to 2. Her second of the match. Loose for good field position to
Then
start
the
this
Knights
set.
scored their last
Olivia
one,
Steer, who we haven't seen a great deal
their
of so
11th
far in this
try,
match.
which
Jess
became
puts
11-2,
it forward.
and it was enough to
Mitchell,
quickly put
caught on
them
the inside.
into the grand final.
Homopo with the touch. So slow things down here. Maddie Mitchell once more. Threatening to launch a raid. Here is Jess. Jess with a long ball over the top. It beat them all, including the defence of Randall. It's a lovely left to right pass. It's 11 tries to 2. They've equalled their tally from earlier this morning against the Doyleson Dragons. So many great exponents on display. Work at pace here through Lennon.
Newcastle City were the first to score. And of course, they managed to score the first try.
Things at state level and getting to ground very quickly with a slide and dive is Chris Lennon, another Hunter West Hornets representative. Does a great job on this occasion. 1 try to nil. Their first attacking raid produces a result. So a good start for the Central Coast side as Newcastle now get first use of the ball. And already behind the 8 ball for that matter, but they've got a couple of big guns in their lineup as well. Look for Blake Potts in the number 9. New South Wales representative as well. Brother of Jess Potts, who we just saw in that victorious Women's Open. The Moffat boys.
But the Central Coast fought back.
To ground very quickly with a slide and dive is Chris Lennon, another Hunter West Hornets representative. Does a great job on this occasion. 1 try to nil. Their first attacking raid produces a result. So a good start for the Central Coast side as Newcastle now get first use of the ball. And already behind the 8 ball for that matter, but they've got a couple of big guns in their lineup as well. Look for Blake Potts in the number 9. New South Wales representative as well. There's 1 try to nil in favour.
Then the Central Coast scored yet again,
resulting in a touchdown. Kane offers it here.
not only scoring 1-0,
Still now with Lennon, who is the try
then
scorer so far.
it later came to 2-0.
Now hops in an acting half right on that 7-metre mark. Moffat, what a ball that is. Ardita with the width. It's all backwards. It's all beautiful. It is the second try of the match there, and Kaya Ardita goes in.
Yeah, that's one of Josh Moffat's pet plays, the sweep plays, and Newcastle were caught a little bit too tight there, and just a nice floater ball over the top to Kaya Ardita, the speedster of touch football.
Saying in the preamble on that occasion there.
Then it was changed to 3-0.
And a few coaches have said the stadium field and also field 1 are a little bit slippery underfoot even if it's dry.
So here are the Dolphins on the attack once more. Belcher. Flaherty. Speaking of slippery surfaces, well, he's made them look like they're on ice skates there. Flaherty, he set it up beautifully, and Belcher goes in for the 3rd try. Now it starts to look a little bit of a difficult scenario here for the Knights.
Yeah, they need to be the next ones to hit back, I think, to stay in the game. But once again, just caught on heels, a quick little slip, and Flaherty went through defence where you
Then the Central Coast had 4 from 4.
Rucking off out of your own box and getting their fresh legs
And
on.
that, of course,
A lot of the time
means
you can get a
4-0. It meant that the Central Coast Dolphins scored their 4th try.
A bit slower in their approach on this occasion. They'll look to work for the strike dump now. Here they come. Flaherty out to Moffat. It's all too easy, though. That was silky smooth from the Dolphins. 4 tries to nil.
Yeah, we just had Flaherty and Moffat working together on either a white cattle or a girl play, they call it. It was just a bounce out on the link, and the link was caught pedaling backwards and just flat-footed, and Moffat with his footwork.
Good options to pick from.
Before Newcastle City managed to get revenge with a try back.
As we've got Newcastle attacking here, their links are really good attacking players, but also defensively they're a strong team as well in the link. So a lot of their plays are set up for their link attacking plays, by their middles.
Oh, great ball, though, from Atkins. Will get Newcastle on the board. He just propped up off the right foot, the jump pass, and went a good 30 metres right into the waiting hands of his winger. And they've had to produce something special to crack this very impressive Dolphins defensive line.
Yeah, just a little bit of a mismatch, but back to the Dolphins. Just their whole team and their dynamics of their team. They really got their hard workers in six.
But the Central Coast scored to make it 5-1.
Mr. Baggio to bring him back on the field.
It was their fifth
That
try.
is what the rules state.
Love the air quotations there, as if it's not quite set in stone.
Sometimes referees do tend to forget, but sometimes they're on the ball. So we all have our little instances. And
Oh, little hop, skip and a jump as well there from German. Well, that was a pretty crazy piece of play there to beat the diving touch of Brennan.
that is it, correct. But these three guys, these three referees we got here, these are the top three in Australia, I believe. We've got Mr. Baggio, Skelly, and also Calabria. Very good. They all know each other, so they
Then
get along
the Central
really well off the
Coast
field. And
scored their
a little bit
sixth
of
try
gamesmanship, I think it could have been.
to lead
Well, typically when you talk about
6-1.
pulling someone's leg, it's me suggesting that people have missed out when you were playing, as opposed to actually it occurring on the touch field as Ardita. Oh, what an acrobatic finish that is. Did he get around the defensive cover?
I think it
Furthermore, is he all right?
he could have hurt his shoulder here.
Well, unfortunately, it's not going to amount to much for him, because not only is he injured, but to add insult to that injury, Ardita has actually gone in for the try. So they're on the board again here, the Knights, or should I say the Central Coast Dolphins. 6 tries to 1. Starting to get away from them here, Newcastle.
Yeah, and that was just against 5 defensive players too. We've got to remind ourselves.
On that particular play, though, so just
Then
that up and in
the
pressure
Central
from the
Coast
Dolphins is
scored their
offering
seventh
nothing for the
try.
Knights.
To
Yeah,
make
you
it
got. I think
7-1.
they've got to change direction. They can take the Dolphins one way, but then they've got to change and come back against the grain. And that's where I think they can get the Dolphins.
Less than 5 minutes remaining for Newcastle to do so. They basically need to be perfect from this point and score with every possession of the footy. They certainly can't allow for another try here. Oh, that's just too nasty there. That is Mr. Call. However, it's going to be called back. There was another little hop and a skip in there from German, and the flick pass. Would have been great for the highlights reel, but not to be.
He's got some pace, doesn't he? He's showed a bit of toe a couple of times now. He may be another one in the stash for cash.
Dating someone hanging 20 metres behind the play, but
Newcastle
Potts
City
just wanted a little
Knights
rest
managed
there.
Yeah, no, he was ready to strike on touch
score
too.
a try.
I could see what he was doing.
Stoney doesn't play for the Wagga Wagga Vipers, right? There's no striking from that distance, mate.
I think he's trying to get Kalen Ponga's position.
Oh, here we go. Supposed to go to the Dolphins. We've actually got the Dolphins and Knights here, so where is Kalen Ponga? This is the perfect game for him.
He should be here, no.
Oh, Doherty with the big tummy sets off down the sideline. He's got oodles of pace. Forget Kalen Ponga. It's all about Hugh Doherty. Great stuff from the young man with his first men's open division.
Oh, he's pulled up a bit lame. Twinged his calf, I think, but
I was going to say, the calf is an old man's injury. What's happening there for Hugh?
yeah, no, he's only a young fella. He'll be right.
Moffat is
After
pulled
having
7
a try
metres away. More
disallowed,
slippage coming.
after having a try
Some of the
disallowed
Newcastle
earlier,
defenders now played
the Central
inside the 7.
Coast managed
I
to
reckon we'll see
secure
the two Moffat
managed
brothers
to
here. I
score
think
their
they'll set
seventh
something up. One
try
of their little
to
trick
win
plays that they practice in
7-2
the
to
backyard. I
go
don't know.
through to the grand final.
I think
It's
we'll-
good luck being the parents, and those two are taking you on. Even when they were about the age of 10, they would have been causing havoc.
Yeah, I know the Moffat's mum, and she's a lovely lady. But to put up with these two boys, I don't know how she does it.
Well, here is one of them now, and quick hands, it's all too easy. Ollie Jones has acres of space, a simple catch and pass, and he puts it down with no one in Kui. 7 tries to 2. They've officially booked their place. If it
The grand final to decide the senior mix
Beresfield and
2022.
Newcastle City were playing
We have
against
the
each
Beresfield
other.
Banders tapping off. This is off to Smith. Smith working with Harvey. Harvey and Smith working together. Back to Smith. Wide ball out to Burke. Burke in the corner. That was just too easy. Just a bit of ball movement. Opened Newcastle up early. And Burke finishes the try.
Beresfield scored early.
Newcastle looks a little bit flat. They're going to have to pick up a little bit if they're wishing to compete in
1-0
this game.
to
Good
Beresfield.
start there by the Beresfield Bandits. But driving the
Van
ball forward now.
Beresfield,
Off to White.
Van
White
Beresfield scored again.
Back to Brain. This is Weddis. Weiler. Weddis Weiler with the ball again. Nice drive forward. White into half. Gives off to Hanley. Hanley Brown with the ball. Long ball out to the wing. This is White in the corner. Nice long ball there. Good left to right pass by the Newcastle Knights, and they've tied it up with 2-2.
Because of that, Newcastle celebrated with a try scored.
Doesn't seem to be a lot of defence at the moment in this game, but
So
got
to
the
Beresfield.
Beresfield Bandits about to tap off. 2-2 in the grand final of the senior mixed competition. Brain. This is Weddis. Weiler. Weddis Weiler with the ball again.
And of course,
Nice drive
with the
forward. White in the
And of
half.
course, with the
Gives
Knights
off to
scoring,
Hanley.
they had to level the
Hanley
scores.
Brown with the ball. Long ball out to the wing. This is White in the corner. Nice long ball there.
So too did Beresfield.
Good left to right pass by the Newcastle Knights, and they've tied it up with 2-2. Doesn't seem to be a lot of defence at the moment in this game, but we've got the Beresfield Bandits about to tap off. 2-2 in the grand final of the senior mixed competition.
Then it was
Nice drive
Newcastle
forward.
City.
White into half. Gives off to Hanley. Hanley Brown with the ball. Long ball out to the wing. This is White in the corner. Nice long ball there. Good left to right pass by the Newcastle Knights, and they've tied it up with 2-2. Doesn't seem to be a lot of defence at the moment in this game, but we've got the Beresfield Bandits about to tap off. 2-2 in the grand final of the senior mixed competition. This is Miller off to Burke. Burke and Miller working together.
Then Beresfield
Miller
managed to secure
Burke and Miller working together.
one of the best tries
And
of
then you
all
get up on the
to
7
make it
before they look to
3-2.
attack. Burke with the strike done. Off to Miller. Also got Smith on. This is Miller with the ball. Quick step. Looking for a quickie play here for Miller. Les pointing at who to go down on. I'm not sure whether that was played between the legs, but Smith's through. Smith through half. Finds Miller and scores. Nice work there between Smith and Miller. Smith being a representative of the New South Wales Origin team earlier this year, bringing his good form into the senior mixed grand final. We have 3-2 to the Beresfield Bandits over the Newcastle City Knights. It's a good call by the
Before
referee.
Beresfield scored again.
Sent Smith on again with Harvey. Harvey and Smith driving the ball forward. This is Givney. And I'm joined in commentary by James Galea, New South Wales Game Development Officer. How are you, James?
Good, Stoney. How are you, mate?
Very good, thank you, mate. How have you enjoyed your weekend?
No, it's been very good. Some great touch happening as we see a try just being scored.
Yeah, once again, Smith through from half, finds the winger. I believe that would be Stevens, possibly, in the corner, but Smith is dominating this grand final at the moment from acting half.
Absolutely.
Sorry, so how's your weekend been, James?
No, it's been very good. Or they just can't
Then
adapt to what's in front of
Beresfield
them.
scored
I don't think they're showing
Yet
the
again
shape that Newcastle want
to make
see.
it 5-2.
You know, in the mix, it's very structured in defence, and I don't think they're getting that shape that they want. Here we have Beresfield. Newcastle again having good defensive. Here goes Harvey. He's away. Look at the foot speed. I don't think they'll catch him. And Harvey's down in the corner, and that will make it 5-3 to the Beresfield Bandits.
Very well done there by Beresfield. He just took some tired defenders on there. His speed and obviously the benefit of being a shorter man. He could get underneath some of the
Before it
touches
became
and go straight
5-3.
through. So he's done well there and obviously put his team more in front.
Yeah, I played hard.
Occasionally,
Before
they just can't
Newcastle,
adapt to what's in front of them.
I don't think they're showing the full shape that Newcastle
before
want to
Newcastle
see.
City
We know
scored
in the mix, very
alongside
structured in
Beresfield.
defence, and I don't think they're getting that shape that they want. Here we have Beresfield. Newcastle again having good defensive there. Here goes Harvey. He's away. Look at the foot speed. I don't think they'll catch him. And Harvey's down in the corner, and that will make it 5-3 to the Beresfield Bandits.
Very well done there by Beresfield. He just took some tired defenders on there. His speed and obviously the benefit of being a shorter man, he could get underneath some of the touches and go straight through. So he's done well there and obviously put his team more.
So just
Before Beresfield scored the match-winning try.
Harvey out to Smith. Just setting up a play again. This is McSpadden. Back to Harvey. Back to Smith. Quickie play. Harvey from half and quickie play and Smith once again. That could seal the game, but it also could seal man of the match for Smith. Like I say, he's been in the orchestra. He's shown his experience from an Origin series. What do you think about that?
He's definitely got some experience that he's using. He's very good chance of being man of the match as well. He's
Middle of the field, slowing things down. The touch comes in. Jeff pops in at first receiver. Jeff
It was
has a little
grand
crack
final
himself. The
time.
touch comes in late.
Because of that,
Still a couple of plays in this set here.
Newcastle City
Looking
were up
to
against Wolves.
strike first in this grand final is the Newcastle side.
Because of that,
Jeffs
Newcastle scored
in an
first.
acting half takes it herself. She fooled them all. Still some support arriving late, and it will be there in just the nick of time. 1-0. The Newcastle City Knights on the board in the grand final.
absolutely well done there by Jeffs, holding up the ball and just probing that whole set, probing the defence, seeing where she could get in, and obviously she found a spot.
So Walsham with all the work to do early on here. Of course, time is their friend. Put here with Highmarsh, and now
Before Newcastle
further
City
away
managed
here.
to score their
Kennedy.
second try
Highmarsh in an
and to
acting
make
half.
it 2-0.
Back to Kennedy. Eventually they get reinforcements onto the pitch. Atkins fires it off to Jeffs. Finally, with the full complement of players out there, it's taken them half the set to do so. So both sides will be looking to improve those transitions. Jeffs fires it long. Atkins, the space opens up for her. She was too quick for Hopkins, and it's the second try of the match for the Newcastle City Knights.
Second try assist from Jess there as well. She's doing very well in the middle, just feeling out the defence, seeing where she can get through, and then obviously opening up gaps for her wing and links on the sides.
They get within that 7-metre mark.
Before the
Absolutely.
Newcastle
It seems like
City
they're trying to
Knights
force
managed
it,
to
but feel a bit of
secure their
pressure,
third
but they're
try
only 2 down. That could
and a
change quite quickly.
3-0 lead.
So Highmarsh plays it now. They head towards the sideline once more. And fresh players onto the field. Beautiful transition here as Potts picks up easy meters. Flings the ball on. Cheney continues the roll forward. Here they come now. Defoe back on the inside. Potts off the left foot. Potts puts the foot down. Oh, shut the gate. Jess Potts all the way through and into the in goal. That's a touchdown, baby.
That it is, and that's what happens when you communicate from the box. You can catch the other team off guard and on the back foot. Very well done there from the Knights.
It's a beautiful transition there. Whatsoever.
Before
It is like a
Walsham
brick wall
scored.
in defence, this Newcastle side.
That's definitely a way of describing it. But I don't understand why they keep going down the middle when you got Jess with the vision she does in defence.
We'll see if they do change tact a little bit, because so far, no result for them. 3-0 in favour of Newcastle. Ball popped over the top, a risky one. It might well pay off for them. Oh, big dummy coming from Lucy Spain. The Spaniard herself is into the in goal. Nice big touchdown, 4-0, and that certainly does put Spain and Newcastle at the same time on the map.
Definitely does. That's some pain to the Wolves there. And it just shows some experience there from
And of course,
Spain.
Newcastle
A lot of other
scored
players
as
would have
well.
passed that on, but she knew she had to hold on to that.
Yeah, great pace on display from Lucy Spain, and so much work now for the Wolves Newcastle side.
That's
And of
definitely a way
course,
of describing it.
Newcastle
I don't
managed to
understand why they
score
keep going down the middle when you got
their
Jess
fourth
with the vision
try.
she does in defence.
We'll see if they do change tact a little bit, because so far, no result for them. 3-0 in favour of Newcastle. Ball popped over the top, a risky one. It might well pay off for them. Oh, big dummy coming from Lucy Spain. The Spaniard herself is into the in goal. Nice big touchdown, 4 tries to 0. And that certainly does put Spain and Newcastle at the same time on the map.
Definitely does. That's some pain to the Wolves there. It just shows some experience there from Spain. A lot of other players would have passed that on, but she knew she had to hold on to that.
A great pace on display from...
Before Newcastle managed to score try number 5 to make it 5-0.
Very well again.
So Taylor out there now, as is Jess. Jess with a couple of dummies. Tries to put on the afterburners. Caught in a good cover touch from Pappas. Taylor shifts it on to Highmarsh. Now DeFore, last play here. An option looming in Highmarsh. DeFore is out wide. Plays it on here beautifully. The quick hands, and they've opened them up once again here, the Knights. 5 tries to 0. They are on fire.
Absolutely. It just seems like with the Wolves, the wingers and the links aren't talking. So always a space out there to attack, and especially when they're attacking, the balls aren't going out there. That's where the space is. So hopefully they can change this.
Before Newcastle City
well and truly
managed to secure a 6-0 lead by scoring try number 6.
Nothing is getting through that. It is absolutely watertight. And again, their transition from the box, very smooth, getting them up the field quite well.
So exactly halfway through this fixture now, 15 minutes deep. It is Newcastle well and truly in the ascendancy. 5 tries to 0. They keep promoting the footy here. Potts links up with Taylor. Oh, it's beautiful stuff. I'm not sure what Billy was doing. She just had to get to ground. Did so eventually, but geez, it was a nervous moment for her entire teammates there.
Everyone's a bit nervous there. Good thing they can smile about it now. But again, very well done from the Knights. Just holding that ball up just a little bit later than normal.
Still looking for their first try of the match.
Back
6-0.
After being denied a try earlier.
There's still life in this game. They need to score this set, though. They won't get too many more chances. Atkins makes the touch. Chippendale has nowhere to go. Simply stops on the run. Fires it back there to Kirkpatrick. Now they've linked up with something here. Fenton for the corner. And Fenton has gone in. Well, finally, they decide to exploit the numbers out wide instead of operating through the middle. Straight away, they get a result.
It's what we've been calling for all game, but you can definitely tell that when they communicate and go out wide, they're getting something on. They definitely made something out of that set. For a while there, I thought nothing was going to happen, but times find the gap, put the ball over the line.
Newcastle City managed to score try number 7 to make it 7-1.
But they finally managed to find a way through. Stevens comes up to put on the pressure and then makes the touch. Potts receives it, rolls it back as the wraparound comes here from Lucy Spain once more. Oh, Spain has got oodles of pace, gets around multiple defenders. She is killing them out there, Lucy. This is by far her best performance of the tournament.
No, absolutely. She did well there. I think she's a bit surprised that she got through on that play. I think everyone is. I don't know how she got missed there.
Well, she just seemed to click into another gear each and every time.
Then War's End managed to score.
At this point as McTaggart gets out there for Wolves End. She hasn't seen a great deal of time on the pitch so far. Chippendale comes forward. Short ball delivered. Now they fire long. They've marked up well in defence again there. McManus shutting her back towards the middle of the field. Brown puts on the afterburners. Gets the pace working. Ball fired over the top. Chippendale is there. There's no touch. That's much better play from the Wolves.
A lot better there. A lot better vision. A lot better speed. They're using the width very well. And they're just seeing what's in front of them for now and playing with some confidence they didn't start the game with. But I think it's going to be a bit too late. And when she was on the field,
Newcastle City victorious over War's End.
So there we have it. All wrapped up here.
Beating
Newcastle City Knights
7 points to 2.
2022 Country Championships. 9 tries to 2 over the Walls End Wolves. And more action coming away with another grand final set to take place here on the stadium field in about 5 minutes' time. Don't go too far, right here on Bar TV and New South Wales Touch Football.
have to go Rachel Jess just from a
with the
defence
Knights women
and her
securing
try
with
assisting
Newcastle
ability.
City's women
She's
securing
definitely
a
orchestrated
grand
on there when
final
she was on
win
the
over
field,
Wolves
and
End.
no,
It was huge.
definitely the player of the match. I
It was
feel.
huge for
So there
Newcastle,
we have it.
beating them
All
9
wrapped up
points
here.
to
The
2.
Newcastle City Knights victorious for the 2022 Country Championships. 9 tries to 2 over the Walls End Wolves. And more action coming away with another grand final set to take place here on the stadium field in about 5 minutes' time. Don't go too far, right here on Bar TV and New South Wales Touch Football. Very strong breeze.
There was good news up in the men's 20s. Wolves End were up against their Central Coast rivals. The Wolves End Wolves scored the first try.
Sure, heights are not my strong suit. Last play now for Wolves End. They come darting out here with Graham. Graham, great pace. Oh, nearly beat them all. He's suggesting he did. Still looking for support. He's called to play on. Ball over the top. Rupek for the corner. Wolves End are in. There's a bit of conjecture here from the Dolphins defenders. They'll have a chat to the officials, but I think they're going to award this. Yes, Rupek goes in for the first try of the match, and Wolves End start well.
He's got a set of wheels on, Graham. He scooped straight through the middle there.
Before Wolves End scored their second to make it 2-0.
Good little jink, trying to get the ground quickly, but Colin made the touch. Back to the 7-metre mark they go. Last play now for the Central Coast side. Walker with a goose step. Quick hands. They promoted on here. Played at here from Rupek, but Rupek takes it in. The chase is on. Rupek's got 40 to go. They're coming quickly. They won't get him. Oh, beautiful play there from Will Rupek. He makes it a double in the grand final. 2 tries to 0 against the run of play.
Yeah, well up in the lane there, in the channel. It was either a 50-50. I think if he got it, he scores. If he doesn't get it, they score. So it was a big play there by Rupek.
Then after struggling to score tries, the Central Coast managed to score.
Way through the match. Played here from Pattinson. All getting to ground quickly. I don't think they've got a touch in time, have they? The referees will just confer here. And it is awarded, so the Central Coast Dolphins are on the board. A lovely dive from a fair way out as well, it must be said.
Yeah, play start. That was a nice little, what they call a Cindy play, where a middle sweeps to the short side. And Link didn't pull a hard enough corner, and Playstar just dives through. But nice quick play by Playstar.
Very acrobatic from him. Now Wolves End to strike back immediately. Caruso can't capitalise on the
And Wolves End certainly struck back,
Daly off the left
scoring
foot. Both are
scoring their third try to make it 3-1.
Scuffle drops it down. Lovely transition here from the Wolves End Wolves. Colin picks it up. Ooh, geez. Ankle breakers for himself and everybody else for that matter. Still dancing away here. He's created something out of absolutely nothing. It's brilliant from Colin. Has he bounced it at the death, though? I hope not, because it would undo all the good work of Colin. No, they'll award it. What about the footwork there?
Fancy,
From Colin.
very fancy footwork and something to jot down, one to watch. He can really punish the Central Coast Dolphins, but
Then Wolves End managed to score more tries, with the Wolves End Wolves scoring their fourth try against the Central Coast Dolphins.
They don't need to work anything just yet. There's an opportunity already, though, for Scuffle if he wants to take it. Back to Caruso. They've got numbers every which way you look. Touch comes in, both them wraps around. Short ball, Glover, the long pass. Rupek, great step off the right foot. Collects a hat-trick. It's 4 tries to 1.
wow. Rupek, he's the man. He's the man you got to watch out for. Big, tall winger as well, which I personally like. Got a lot of speed.
Classic scoreboard.
4-1 soon became 5-1 as Wolves End scored their fifth try.
We're going for the all or nothing play very early in the set, deep in their own end. Once more, they invite the Wolves into a good position here. Botham plays it. Colin sweeping around, Opposite acting half, Botham again. Botham, nearly getting all the way there. He's got it down, in fact. He flicked up the heels just at the death. It was an acrobatic finish. It collects their 5th try of the match. And he is killing them out there, Will Botham.
Yeah, that had to be played through. The touch of the defender just went basically automatically sideways and never made the try line. So he had to play through the referee. And really good play on and good slide.
The trail by 4, 5-1.
The Central Coast managed to score their second try.
In this match. Buckley.
But despite fighting back, it was not enough.
Played on the 7-metre mark. All the momentum now out of the play. Last here, Buckley still looms as an option in support. He gets there and he gets it to ground really quickly. It's a great piece of play there from Buckley. And he lets his opposite Ashton Daly know about it as well.
Yeah, I like that play. I like the Sydney plays as well, but Wallsend Wolves are defending the Sydney really well. They're dropping early, which is making the Central Coast pull out of the touch and then realign. But that was a good setup there by the Central Coast Dolphins.
So it's an end-to-end grand final here. That didn't need to be made.
As Wallsend managed to score the last try of the grand final. Of course, it was their last try, as the Wallsend Wolves managed to score their 6th try.
The fast movement, the feet work. Be interested to see if he's got a passing ball on him. It's good left ball, left to right.
And they get there in time as well. They've beaten the dive and cover defence. That could just secure the grand final for them. 6 tries to 2. They just can't keep giving so much possession away in good field position.
Yeah, that's all it's come down to in this game. I think Central Coast, they're a quality side. It's just too much turnover and field position. You got to win that midfield. If you're not completing your sets, the other team's dominating you.
O'Brien comes forward. This is what we talked about with the 20s. There's a play that absolutely did not need to be
Thankfully,
made. They're up by 4. Time is on their side.
Even though the Central Coast scored, it was enough for Wallsend to quickly win the grand final 6 points to 3.
Receives it. Gets the quick drop down there. Pattinson's hurt himself in the process. Still live as an option. Flings it on. Great hands out wide. And a big dive as well. Riley Jones makes it all the way across the try line. We do still have a ball game here. 6-3 with about 4 minutes on the clock.
Very good hands out wide by Jones, but good play. I think that could, what do we got, 6-3, James?
6-3 with 4 to go.
Dawson and the Central Coast had a massive battle against each other in the grand final.
Potentially the headgear.
And because of that, Dawson scored first.
Going by with the bucket hat, that could at least be a good start for him.
Yeah, I'll loop you on his famous bike, but
Thompson scoops it on. It's play on here. It's a try for Jacob Hawkins, the first of the grand final. It's all smiles for the Dawson Dragons. However, there might be a word still to happen here. 3 officials are conferring.
I haven't confirmed it, but I think that
there we go.
They're stamping their authority with the back chat, I think, early. So I think it was a nice phase play there by the Dawson Dragons. But once again, Thompson out there just orchestrating what he...
Then the Central Coast fought back.
Dolphins, they find themselves behind with an early try to Jacob Hawkins. Moffat holding the ball in one hand. Quick release there. In fact, no touch coming as of yet. There it is now from Wilton. Moffat, what about the sharp footwork there? The Moffat boys combine, and all of a sudden we have a level ball game again.
Yeah, a little sneaky unders line. That's the backyard touch that I've been talking about all weekend between the 2 Moffat boys, and they combine there to score a nice try.
Some superstars on show in this grand final, that's for sure. The likes of Thompson and Wilton and Langbridge operating impressive moves.
Battle and tries kept on coming.
Thompson.
The Dawson Dragons scored their second.
Sees it back and now has another crack at them. Thompson opening something up here for Clune. Clune dives from distance and he beats the defender, does he? No. Late call from the sideline official. Try denied. Thompson thought he'd worked it enough. Clune with the big dive. Last play now. Thompson out the back, the passive play. Ball popped over the top into the waiting hands of Dafter, but it's called forward.
Yeah, just that last play there by Will. Drifted forward and nice setup, passive play again by the Dawson Dragons.
they're working upfield now through Rainer Badior. Moffat just shy of the halfway line. Lennon, one of the quickest customers.
Then the Central Coast took the lead
Taking the touch.
after Dawson was denied a try.
Now it finds the hands of Niebel, who's an option once more. Stops on his run. Well watched in defence. Ardita hopping in at acting half. Belcher out now to Lennon. Good pressure in from Johnson. Belcher with the short ball to Lennon. Beautiful play. A lovely piece of deception with the pass. He feigned to go long and popped it right at the death on the try line. And another try here for the Central Coast Dolphins.
Yeah, they just shifted the ball across the line, ran a Sydney play, but the ball was held up really well, and unfortunately the middle just released and opened up that gap through the middle of the defense.
Then, despite having their try disallowed, the Dawson Dragons had to quickly level it up at 2-2.
You heard a lot, of course, in rugby league circles about how a fullback is able to organise the defensive line as Thompson sliced through this particular line. They get it to ground nice and quick too. Lincoln Little on the spot. I think he's got it down in time.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think that's a try. Yep, they're going to reward it. Thompson once again just burning through the line, just showing a clean pair of heels and absolutely gassed Kane there.
Great stuff from Thompson. He certainly can turn it on when he wants to. Just saying though, I mean, you talk about rugby league circles with the fullback being able to organise the defensive line. That's very much the same West Hornets earlier this year.
Then Dawson scored their third try.
The Origin 20s team, and one to look for in the future. He's been in the Doyle system for a very long time. I keep watching him and I'm thinking he's been there for about 5 or 6 years.
As it was a battle of the Central Coast teams.
Certainly possible. We've seen plenty of 14 to 15-year-olds playing in the men's 20s division as Johnson once more shows that he might well be the closest thing to Stretch Armstrong in the touch footy circles. A big dive from a long way out puts Doyleson back in the lead, 3 tries to 2.
He's had a very good series, and I've never watched him a real lot, but this series he's really stood up in the country champs and made a name for himself, getting really low and diving. Yeah, no, it'll be just
before the Central Coast managed to tie it back to 3-3.
You sent someone out for that set of 6.
Still plenty of work to do, though, for Doyleson in defence. They can ill afford to lose another player there for not stepping up, or certainly for mouthing off as Thompson
with the
is doing
Central
there.
Coast Dolphins scoring their third try.
Can't quite recall a time where that might have happened as they dive from a long way out here with Luke Kane, who makes them pay. You can't give good teams such as the Central Coast Dolphins that much ball, and certainly with an extra man advantage, and they've taken full advantage of it there.
Yeah, that did help, but they did work their penalties well, and Central Coast hit back. Make the score 3-3. Exciting game here in the country championship, but the rest of the team.
Then the Dawson Dragons had to score their fourth try.
So they get that release.
So Thompson slowing things down. In no rush,
And
knowing
also,
that they already have the extra
and
man
the
advantage.
deadlock.
Langridge threatens to go long. They've worked it beautifully here through the hands of Wilson into the waiting arms of Dafter, and that makes it 4 tries to 3. Back in front they go, the Dawson Dragons. The extra man does indeed produce a result.
Yeah, and they may still even, I'm not sure whether they'll get another set. This could be the last set, so they may get 6 back on after this set of 6 for the Coast. Have a tight game here once again, but Dawson in front at the moment.
The attack again, though, come the Dolphins. Scheming as always.
There had to be a
Langridge.
winner.
Great footwork. Langridge
Dawson
took it away
scored
from
the
them.
match winner.
Belcher did a good job.
And of course, their
He
fifth
grabbing across
try.
field and
The
slow
score
down that
then
run
later
of
became
Langridge.
5-3.
Plenty of tension around the stadium too. See a couple of hands on heads on the sideline for some of the Dawson players who are a little bit concerned here. Dafter over the top, pops it back in towards the middle. Wilton is there waiting, and for the first time in the match, we've got a nice little buffer that one of the sides has been able to produce. 5 tries to 3, Dawson lead.
That was a nice ball by Langridge. It was a floater, but Dafter with the tap back in. Done well, got Adida caught out, chasing out hard. And unfortunately, the link and that got held up and just couldn't cover the inside.
They're running after them.
Then the Central Coast had one more try scored. Thankfully, Dawson had managed to secure the victory by winning the match 5-4.
Played off here. Johnson stepped up but was called offside, so he retreated pretty quickly. Lenham onto the pitch now for the Dolphins. They keep marching forward. Langbridge makes the touch. Last play now, they've got them back pedaling. Oh, good pace shown, and the little skip, hop, jump, away they go. A try for Kyle German. We've seen him do it a few times throughout this tournament, the little hop to beat a diving touch. And once more, it produces a result as Wilton also hits the deck.
Yeah, Wilton's a bit injured, but Jermaine, he's a bit underestimated, I think, with his pace. A lot of people underestimate how quick he. That's the experience that we'll see out of
Port Macquarie and Wollongong were up against each other. It was a battle of the North Coast versus the South Coast. And of course, Port Macquarie scored first.
Certainly not Nobby's Lighthouse at Lighthouse Beach in Port Macquarie as the Makos go in. So on their first raid against the opposition line, they strike back one try apiece. But yeah, Matt Tope is very much more the Eiffel Tower as opposed to Nobby's Lighthouse, that's for sure.
Nice hit back there by the Port Macquarie Makos, and Shelby Granger in the corner. She didn't have much room to work with, but she got the ball down nice and clean. Nice hit back there by the Port Makos.
One try apiece early on in this one.
Just got young Tyrone
Before Wollongong struck back.
So that's the experience that we'll see out of Tope. And also you got Tonegado and that out here that have got a lot of experience, but you'll see the young Port team just run.
Of course, they call Matt Tope the Lighthouse. He's certainly not Nobby's Lighthouse at Lighthouse Beach in Port Macquarie as the Makos go in. So on their first raid against the opposition line, they strike back one try apiece. But yeah, Matt Tope is very much more the Eiffel Tower as opposed to Nobby's Lighthouse, that's for sure.
Nice hit back there by the Port Macquarie Makos, and Shelby Granger in the corner. She didn't have much room to work with, but she got the ball down nice and clean. Nice hit back there by the Port Makos.
One try apiece early on in this one.
Then Port Macquarie had managed to score their second try.
Here he is, Gainsford, so I think you could just call him Gaines, actually.
Yeah, all guns.
With the Port Macquarie Makos scoring their second try to make it 2-1.
The ball back towards the middle. Tope makes the touch. Last play now here for Port Macquarie. Oh, quick hands. Beautiful play back up through the middle. A lovely delay on the pass. And a wonderful line run. 2 tries to 1. Port Macquarie hit back.
That's going to be the go-to play, I believe. Mixing out of half, running into shape with a passive out the back. And that's the young legs. Nice setup play there by Fisher. Just jigging the ball around until they got the right man to strike dump on.
Before Port Macquarie scored their third try.
It's a good play from them to get themselves back into the equation here. Port Macquarie now with the touch off. Gainsford coming through at pace. They've worked a nice little overlap here. Way too much speed about their play as well. Driving all the way through the line is the number 18 for the Port Macquarie side.
Young Tyrone Flanagan there.
Yes, Flanagan indeed it is. So 3-2, Port Macquarie back in the lead. Didn't last for long, those level peggings there from the Devils. So still nice conditions here. In the central here.
Before Wollongong scored one back.
With the touch off. Gainsford coming through at pace. They've worked a nice little overlap here. Way too much speed about their play as well. Driving all the way through the line is the number 18 for the Port Macquarie side.
Young Tyrone Flanagan there.
Yes, Flanagan indeed it is. So 3-2, Port Macquarie back in the lead. Didn't last for long, those level peggings there from the Devils. So still nice conditions here in the Central Coast. Some of us have trips planned out to Monday.
Wollongong levelled the scores at
We've already been
3-all.
running a great deal. And the Devils go in once more here. There might be an injury in the act of scoring, though. A little bit sore and sorry off the back of that dive.
but then lost a player because of injury.
Not too. I think that's Tonagato that's injured himself there.
That's not what you want to see, that's for sure. He hit the ground with plenty of pace about his work. So just keep an eye on him. Still clutching at the left hip at the moment, so could have been jarred quite badly. As the cutout pass comes here from Port Macquarie. Oh, just a little too far out in front of Lattimore there.
Yeah, just a bit out of reach of Lattimore, but nice set-up play again, and you can tell.
Then Port Macquarie managed to score their fourth try.
He hammers the ball into the turf, and that produces another try for Port Macquarie. 4 tries to 3 over Wollongong.
That was really good work there by Green, the winger. Thought the play was dead when good cover defence there by the link, but turned the ball back inside and Wollongong just switched off and Lewis plants the ball down over the try line. 4-3 to Port Macquarie, Makos.
Referee blows us back underway, and it's touched here from Chapman. Chapman caught about 5 metres into enemy territory. Deegan marches forward. Plenty of room on offer for Deegan. Here he gets it once again.
Then Port Macquarie managed to score.
Here he gets it once again.
Securing a 5-3
mark. Oh, in a step taken.
securing a
They stepped up in the line.
5-3 lead over
home.
Wollongong.
Don't you worry about it. Not even for a moment. The chase comes late here from Miller, but it's all academic. Lewis goes the length of the field. And a beautiful read in defence.
Yeah, up in the passing lane, and Lewis, I think he wanted the Moulet to start flapping in the wind. He's got that haircut that all the locals have got at the moment. The short backing, you can't say really short back. It's short sides and long back.
That's how
Before
I like to look at
Wollongong scored their fourth try.
work meetings, but you can also absolutely kick up a storm at Port Breakers, that's for sure. The pass comes here for Wollongong Devils. Hill. Now to Tope through the middle. Good little pick up there too as well from Deegan. Back to Tope. He's a very tall man, which means he's got a long reach and he gets to ground nice and quickly there. 5 tries to 4. Wollongong reduced the margin.
Yeah, Deacon and Tope played together for a lot of years. They were playing when I was back playing, and now they're still playing, and I'm not. But just he worked over Gainsford there in defence, and just an inside-outside step, and got him on the outside nicely, and a nice ball there by Deacon.
Then Port Macquarie managed to score.
So here they go, Granger out of acting half. So Nixon once more having a crack. I think he's lost it in the act of putting it down. Now they say he got there in time. Geez, and Tonagato not happy. He is screaming there, throwing his hat onto the ground. Geez, I'd love to see that. Unfortunately, we don't have the benefit of a replay directly here in the booth, but for all money, I thought it was bounced. Referees are on the spot, though, so we'll back the judgment. Tonagato was adamant that there was a bit of disconnect between the grass and the fingertips. Granger taking a
Then
little
Port Macquarie scored their 7th try.
And away now for Pollard. Pollard trying to get away from a few of them. Back to Nixon. Drops it off here. Oh, geez. Shoddy play the ball. They're not happy once more on the sideline here. Tonagato, and again, it's going to be ruled in favour of Port Macquarie. That's 2 iffy calls in a row that have favoured the Makos, and they are taking full advantage of it. 7 tries to 5.
Definitely got away with a 50-50 there. That could have went either way, I believe, but when the way the Port Makos, and they capitalised on the little fumble, but play-ons are called by the referees. The Makos up 7-5, I believe.
7-5 indeed is the scoreline as the Devils come away with it. Tonagato is in the wars at the moment with the referee, Nixon.
Then
Gainsford.
Port
Beautiful little
Macquarie
pop pass late there for
score.
Nixon. Good movement here with ball in hand. Lewis eventually caught. Lattimore out of acting half, and now back to Lewis. Toombs will centre things here is again. Nice little goose step, linking up with the run there of Luck, who dives over. And 8 tries to 5. A real nice little buffer here for the Port Macquarie side.
Yeah, that's given them a little bit of space, but they must defend hard this set. They cannot relax. This Wollongong Devils side, they've got a lot of experience, and if they get a bit of momentum, it can really hurt the Port Mako, so they really have to defend hard here for this set.
To come inside, final 10 minutes here, about 10.5 on the clock.
Stay
For the
calm.
Wollongong,
This will
before
not
the
hurt the Port
Wollongong
Makos. They
Devils
cannot
scored
let
their
Wollongong have a
sixth
sniff.
try.
Done exactly that, changing it over in their own end as Mawson heads towards the sideline. Rudd opts out of acting half. Tonegado meets Nixon. Nixon making the touch and fired off here from Deegan into acting half. Deegan once more, the long loping pass over the top. Oh, what a ball that is. Right into the waiting arms of Brittany Rudd. Wind assisted, of course. It was backwards out of the hands.
And just quietly, Brittany Rudd is a Port Macquarie girl. But she has moved down to Wollongong, so it's good to see the poor people branching out, but once again, a nice constructed try there by the Wollongong Devils. Guys, I believe.
Then,
Not long to go,
try
I don't
number
think.
7.
So 8-6 the score. Less than 10 minutes on the clock as Tope comes forward. Mawson wrapping around. Just over 8 to be precise. I'll slow it down once more here. Off to Tope. Tope, an option on the open side once more. Oh, what a ball that is. They had a couple of unders lines which really confused the defence, and a long pass. Beautiful in its execution. And 8-7 now.
Same play there by the Wollongong Devils. They're starting to really tear and rip the the Port Macquarie defence apart.
For a moment there, I thought Greg Inglis might have been involved in the commentary. Good meters on offer there.
Before Port Macquarie
They continue driving forward now
managed to
with
score
Flanagan.
their ninth
Straightens
try.
things. Nixon off the left foot. Out of Fisher. Back out there after a bit of a rest. Great ball there from Nixon. Flanagan trying to get on the inside of them. 8-7, they still lead. One more play here.
Oh, this could be a 7-touch set, but good defence here by Wollongong at the moment.
Nixon, though, with the big goose step. Oh, what a pass that is. He floated it over the top. All the hard work was done with something that Denon Kemp would have been very happy about. The big goosey from midway in the attacking line.
One-on-one with Nixon is very hard to defend, and he just got the girl linked, just shutting down and biting him where they could have went man on. I thought Tope almost had him. 9-7.
Whoa,
I understand
Wollongong.
that's quite hard to read my little
Mhm.
scrawlings here on the pad. Don't you worry,
Scored.
Stoney. Got you covered, mate.
Better than my writing, mate. That's fine.
I really am concerned if that's the case.
It was a battle of the two cities.
Literally drawn about 4 scratches there for 2, so it's a miracle we've got any scoreboard here. Take me back to Roman numerals. Long ball comes again, holding the width nicely is Tonegado. I thought there might have been a little bobble at the death, but they'll rule in favour of the attacking side here. So Rachel Tonegado makes it 9-8.
Yeah, 9-8. Nice quarterback play there. They got the Paul Makos pulling the corner and just couldn't release the winger. They had him covered, just didn't have the leg speed to quite get there.
I think you might be right with that initial assessment of 14-12. We've still got 5 goals itself.
But it was not over yet for the
Typically, when we
Port
see him
Macquarie
called out
Makos.
like that, it's not a forced
They managed
substitution. It's
to
very
win the
much the
match.
case of a man
And
less
of
for
course,
a period of time.
Yeah,
managed
especially
to
when you've already
find
been
the
robbed
match
with
winning
the first
try.
penalty down the other end.
Big dummy comes in
And
here
of
from
course, it
Toombs,
was
now to
their 10th
Gainsford.
try.
He's caught back to the 7-metre mark they come. Gainsford to Toombs. Touch comes up from Tope. Toombs again, floating a pass across. Flanagan somehow found space in between link and wing, and he picks up a very important try. He makes it double digits for Port Macquarie, 10-8, with not a great deal of time remaining in the grand final.
Nice floating the ball there by young Toons, young 17-year-old coming through the pathways in this side to develop his skills. Maybe one to watch in the future.
So the Devils pretty much need to score this set. If
Pathways in this side to develop his skills.
And of course,
Maybe one to watch in the
Wollongong
future.
managed to score, but Port Macquarie
Here to finish it off.
managed, and of
there's a
course,
big victory here for the Port
of course,
Macquarie
Port
Makos. They come
Macquarie
from
managed
further
to
north.
win the match.
So the Devils pretty much need to score this set if they are any hope of putting this one into the drop-off zone. 2 minutes remain. They've got a good chance here to put some numbers on the board.
Port Macquarie
Tonegado back on the
managed to
field
win the
now.
match
Let's hope for
10 to
his
9.
sake that he can stay out there.
Right
Tonegado,
up
quick
at full
hands out to
time.
Rudd. Oh, that's beautiful. Well, they needed him back out there because he's done a great job to set that one up.
Nice play by Chapman as well. Another young fella actually played with Chapman in a few sides. He's a Tenworth boy from back in the day, and it's good to see him back playing. He's a very fit man, runs a lot of marathons. He just every time you look at his social medias, it's like he's running a marathon. So nice play there by Chapman as well.
To round two of Newcastle District Cricket, Stockton and Northern Districts have secured a victory over Hamwicks, while West have secured a win over Merewether. Also, the University of Newcastle beated Newcastle City, while Wallsend secured a win over Toronto. Cardiff Boolaroo beat Belmont, and Charlestown District hammered Waratah Mayfield. In the Central Coast Cricket competition, Southern Spirit has outclassed Terrigal, while Narara, Wyoming has beaten Northern Power. Elsewhere in the other matches, Brisbane Water has defeated Warnervale. Also, Lizaro Arimba has defeated Wyong, and the Entrance has defeated Kincumber Avoca. To North Coast Cricket, and of course the Coffs Coast Chargers after the Regional Bash final, after defeating local rivals, the Macquarie Coast Stingers, with a 145 to 187. 107. Meanwhile, heartbreak for the Northern Rivers Rock. They suffered a heartbreaking loss to the Northern Inland Bolters. While in the Tamworth Division cricket competition, Tamworth City has upsetted Bective East with a 201 to 109 victory. Also, it was a battle of the Tamworth teams, with North upsetting South with a 145 to 143 victory. After the break, we'll have your classic local sporting moments from 1999.
I'm going to buy that.
Into big business now, are we?
No, I'm quite happy with the small business I own, Louise.
Who are you banking with now, Bob?
Newcastle Permanent.
No, I know. I mean, your company banking.
Yeah, we're with the firm.
Didn't know they did business banking.
Well, I have done for quite some time now, Dad.
Oh, good move.
That's mine. Thank you.
Your business is in good hands with Newcastle Permanent.
They're our building society.
Wake up in the morning, gotta get because the Herald is the best way to start your day.